All right. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to say call halayim Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rakah Quitash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who have taught me this truth and who rule well in this truth. Shalom to the 144,000 and the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel that is scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Peace and mercy unto you, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You are the true Hebrew Israelites that the Bible speaks of. You are the true chosen people of the book. All right, so once again, we're back in this book, Population Control by D0MS. All right, which goes into all the ways Esau Edom goes about to depopulate, man, to depopulate the masses, right? Because Esau Edom, starting with the elite banking families, all right, they have an agenda, which is to bring forth the new world order, and part of that new world order agenda, all right, is to depopulate, all right, because they want the entire world, the population of the entire world, all right, dumbed down to 500 million. So they got billions of killing to do, billions of people to kill, man. All right, and that's why they got so many ways, all right, to go about depopulation. This book goes into the chemtrails, all right. That's one way to kill off the people. Goes into the water supply, the food supply, all right. The militarization of the police force. It goes into all of that, man. All right, it goes into many things, man. All right, and what I want to get into today is the sweeteners, man. All right, in the food supply. So let's get it, man. All right, as you see right here, all right, this is chapter 11. All right, deadly sweeteners, man. All right, because a lot of people, you know, they replace their sugar with these fake sweeteners, man. All right, not knowing that these sweeteners are just as poisonous and harmful to the body as sugar, man. All right, so we got these sweeteners. All right, you got Truvia. And on the next page, it goes into Splenda, all right, and then it goes into aspartame, all right, which is what I want to get into today in this lesson, the aspartame, all right, and then it goes into like the sodas, all right. It says other softful drink hazards. It goes into the sodas, all right, the soft drinks, man, all right, and aspartame is also in these soft drinks, all right, these juices and all that, all right. But let's read this real quick, all right. It says chapter 11, deadly sweeteners, man. All right, it says health conscious. Let me zoom in real quick so you can see. All right, it says health conscious consumers are always on the lookout for substances that will sweeten their foods without packing on the pounds. All right, but a close examination of some of the most popular sweeteners reveal deadly ingredients. All right, so one way, all right, to kill off the public, all right, is to poison the masses, all right, through the food industry, man. All right, and I already done many videos and lessons on this book, and I went into the section where it talks about the deadly foods and all that, man. All right, so watch that video, man. That's a very good video, man. All right, good information coming out in that video. All right, so right here I got the Truvia. Let's get into the aspartame. All right, aspartame. All right, let me zoom out real quick, just a little bit. All right, I'll zoom back in. All right, it says aspartame. It says Splenda, however, comes out looking great in comparison to aspartame. Yeah, because right before it starts talking about aspartame, it talks about the Splenda and it talks about how poisonous, all right, Splenda is. But Splenda makes aspartame, you know, but aspartame makes Splenda look like a cakewalk, man. All right, that's why it says Splenda, however, comes out looking great in comparison to aspartame. All right, described by Dr. Joseph, all right, Mercola, as by far the most dangerous substance added to most foods today. All right, so this is what we're eating, man, aspartame. All right, and according to Dr. Joseph Mercola, all right, he said by far the most dangerous substance added to most food today. All right, see, this is how Esau Edom gets down. All right, under the rulership, you know, under Esau Edom's rulership, all right, the earth mourneth, man. All right, but when the righteous rule, the people rejoiceth. All right. See, we're not gonna be poisoning the food supply. All right. When Yahushai comes back. All right. When the kingdom of Israel, all right, is in rulership, man. All right. We're gonna be ruling in righteousness, man. All right. We're not gonna be poisoning the water supply. None of that, man. You know. It says, Splenda, however, comes out looking great in comparison to aspartame, described by Dr. Joseph Mercola as by far the most dangerous substance added to most foods today. Sucralose, which became popular in part as a result of health concerns related to aspartame, has gained market share, but aspartame is still used in many foods and drinks. All right, questions about regarding aspartame, which is now found not only in diet drinks, but also in thousands of food products as well as over-the-counter drugs. Sweeteners history is troubling. All right, the sweeteners history is troubling. The Pentagon once listed it as a biochemical warfare agent. Come on, man. So we got biochemical warfare agents in our foods, man. And this is all to kill off the masses, man. All right, because we got the Esau Edom starting with the elite, wicked Illuminati banking families. They got an agenda to carry out. All right? This man is truly the devil, man. Esau Edom, the so-called white man, starting with the elite banking families. Okay? The sweeteners history is troubling. The Pentagon once listed it as a biochemical warfare agent. Then the pharmaceutical company J.D. Searle discovered that aspartame also produced a sweet taste and pressed for government certification. However, in September 1980, an FDA Public Board of Inquiry concluded aspartame should not be approved pending further investigations of brain tumors in animals. All right. It has been reported that later that year, during a sales meeting, the then CEO of G.D. Searle, future Secretary of Defense Donald Rumsfeld, stated that he planned to use his political pool in Washington to get aspartame approved. All right. It says, I'm right here. All right. The story is as follows. On the day after President Ronald Reagan's inauguration in 1981, Rumsfeld, as a member of the new administration, was instrumental in the appointment of Dr. Arthur Hall Hayes as FDA commissioner. Hayes, who had previously served in the U.S. Army's Chemical Weapons Division, initially approved aspartame as a sweetener powder, all right, despite the objections of 3 of 6 FDA scientists responsible for researching it. All right, so he was, bro, he used to be in he used to be in the Army's Chemical Weapons Division, so he knows, man. All right, and still try to get it approved as a sweetener powder. You see how bro, come on, man. All right, and it says despite the objections of 3 of 6 FDA scientists responsible for researching it, man. So even the scientists of the FDA, man, all right, no, man. All right. It says Dr. Robert Condon, all right, Satya Dubey, and Douglas Park argued against approval, stating, all right, these are the scientists, I'm guessing, yeah. All right, says, they argued against approval, stating on the record that Searle's safety tests were unreliable and not adequate to determine the safety of aspartame. All right. It says in 1983, just before he left his FDA position for a public relations job with Burson Marsteller, the chief public relations firm for both Monsanto and Searle, Hayes approved aspartame for all carbonated beverages. All right, like sodas and all that, man. See, that's what's in the beverages today, man. aspartame, man. All right. And it says the Pentagon once listed it as a biochemical warfare agent. Come on, man. All right. It says in 1985, Searle was purchased by multinational conglomerate Monsanto. All right, which established the NutraSweet company. Come on, bro. Come on, man. A company like Monsanto, all right, starting a NutraSweet company, all right, coming into the food industry and all that, man. All right, it says in 1985, Searle was purchased by multinational conglomerate Monsanto, which established the NutraSweet company. NutraSweet was bought by the European firm J.W. Childs Associates in 2000. Aspartame's connection to formaldehyde, a deadly neurotoxin, has raised concerns among many regulators. In 1998, Life Sciences study concluded that aspartame consumption may constitute a hazard because of its contribution to the formation of formaldehyde adducts. All right. Next page. All right. All right. It says it has been established that aspartame releases free methanol that breaks down into formic acid and formaldehyde in the human body when subjected to temperatures of more than 86 degrees Fahrenheit. Normal body temperature is 98.6 degrees. All right. The quart of an aspartame added beverage is estimated to contain about 56 milligrams of methanol. All right. Come on, man. It says, today, however, the FDA and European Food Safety Authority maintain that aspartame is safe at the levels currently used in food and drinks. Yet aspartame accounts for more than 75% of adverse reactions to food additives reported to the FDA, according to published reports. These include seizures and death. All right. It says the more than 90 other documented symptoms caused by aspartame listed in a FDA report include headaches, migraines, dizziness, seizures, nausea, numbness, muscle spasms, weight gain, rashes, depression, fatigue, irritability, tachycardia, tachycardia, insomnia, all right, vision problems, hearing loss, heart palpitations, all right, breathing difficulties, anxiety attacks, slurred speech, loss of taste, tetanus, vertigo, memory loss, and joint pain. Bruh, come on, man. All right, it says, according to researchers and physicians studying the adverse effects of aspartame, all right, the following chronic illnesses can be triggered or worsened by ingesting aspartame: brain tumors, multiple sclerosis, all right, epilepsy, chronic fatigue syndrome, Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's, mental retardation, lymphoma, all right, birth defects, fibromyalgia, and diabetes. So all these are heightened, all right, because of aspartame, man. All right, it says, despite this laundry list of related ailments, the sweetener, which is sold under a variety of names, including NutraSweet, Equal, all right, E951, all right, Benevia, and Canderel, is ubiquitous, all right. Zachary Shahan, all right, director of Clean Technica, a popular website devoted to science news and conservation, estimates more than 250 million people, or about 2/3 of the U.S., all right, population, consumed aspartame in its various forms, all right. And there's about just almost everybody in the U.S., because there's about 333 million, all right. in the U.S. All right, it says academics who have studied the true effects of aspartame find it a thankless job. All right, in 1991, Dr. Janet Starr Hall, an OSHA certified environmental hazardous waste emergency response specialist, all right, and toxicologist, was diagnosed with incurable Graves' disease, all right, a defect in the immunization system, all right, that leads to hyperthyroidism, all right, only to learn through her own research that she had been poisoned by aspartame, all right. She stated many scientists at prestigious American universities will tell you that they cannot get grants for continued research on aspartame or Splenda, or their department heads have been told to drop all discussions on the topic. All right, you see, everything is crafty, man. All right, all right, everything is all right. It says some will say aspartame research isn't worth the effort because they cannot get published in American scientific journals. Others claim that research centers constructed by the large corporations such as Duke University's Searle Research Center were designed with managed research as a construction proviso. Yeah, because yo, listen, everything is systematically done, bro. Everything is hush hush. Everything is what's that word I'm looking for? Everything is put on the low, man. You know? All right. It says, in addition to ethical questions, all right, concerning drug corporations, all right, everything is corrupt. Everything is corrupted, bro. All right. It says, in addition, all right, behind closed doors. All right. In addition to ethical questions concerning drug corporations funding academic studies, yeah, all right, and research centers, eyebrows have been raised over corporate financing of NutraSweet research. Yeah, because the same these big giant corporations that are they're the same corporations that are funding these studies and all that. So everything is bought and paid for, man. All right, you know, give that money to hush hush. All right. It says, for example, former FDA investigators Arthur M. Evangelista noted that Suzanne Schiffman, named to head a Searle-funded Duke University Medical School study into NutraSweet's link to headaches, is a former General Foods and Searle consultant. All right, her research is under the auspices of the Office of University Vice President William Nillen, all right, a former Searle director. All right, you see how things everything is connected, bro. All right, Schiffman said she took no salary, all right, for the research, and that Annalyn played no part in Searle's pledge to finance the study. All right, expected to cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Other academics mentioned, all right, by Evangelista include Dr. David Huntingake, all right, of the University of Minnesota, who was selected to head a Searle design study of aspartame's effects on the liver by former Searle researcher director Daniel Azernoff, all right, formerly Huntingake's mentor at the University of Kansas, all right. It also has been reported that Dr. Louis Stegink, all right, a pediatrics professor at the University of Iowa who studies since the early 1970s, invariably indicated aspartame's safety. At one point had received more than $1.3 million in research grants and gifts. So yeah, of course. All right. From the NutraSweet company, according to university records. Yeah, he's bought and paid for, man. All right. A longtime research collaborator, collaborator, all right, of Stegnick's, Dr. Jack Filer serves as executive director. Oh, excuse me. Hold on. All right. Come on, man. A longtime researcher, a longtime research collaborator, all right, of Stegnick's, Dr. Jack Filer serves as executive director of the International Life Science Institute, a Washington, D.C. foundation funding aspartame research, among other things. Filer claims he sees no conflict in his dual roles in ILSI's executive director and in aspartame research, but declined to disclose his ILSI, all right, consulting fees. Filer has argued that health problems blamed on aspartame may simply be water load on the brain caused by overconsumption of liquids. Yeah, okay, bro. You know how Esau Edom always got some funky ass explanation, man. You know, on why things are, you know what I'm saying? Nah, bro. All right, it says such apparent conflicts of interest seem to have prevented inquiry, all right, that is desperately needed, while not focused on specifically on aspartame or any other artificial sweeteners. A 2014 University of Iowa study of diet drinks found that otherwise healthy women who were regular consumers of diet drinks were significantly more likely to die from a heart attack or cardiovascular disease. All right, nearly 60,000 women participated in the study, which found those who consumed 2 or more diet drinks a day were 30% more likely to have a cardiovascular event and 50% more likely to die from heart disease, all right, than women who never or rarely drink diet drinks. Yeah, because y'all people be on these diet drinks, bro, thinking thinking it's good. It's just as it's just as poisonous as the regular joint. All right, talking about diet Coke or diet Pepsi or diet whatever, man. Talking about 0 calories or 0 sugar. Like, come on, bro. What do you think is in it? If it ain't got no sugar, the aspartame or the Splenda. All right. All right. It says this is one of the largest studies on this topic, and our findings are consistent with some previous data, especially those linking diet drinks to metabolic syndrome. All right, said Dr. Anker Vyas. All right, lead investigator of the study, who cautioned that further research is required. All right, it's too soon to tell people to change their behavior based on this study. However, based on these and other findings, we have a responsibility to do more research to see what is going on and further define the relationship, if one truly exists. This could have major public health implications. It says older readers might recall that for decades the tobacco industry denied any correlation between disease and smoking. All right, doctors and celebrities would recommend that people smoke to appear sophisticated or to calm their nerves. All right, could today's doctors recommend diet drinks be equally misinformed? All right, but we all know cigarettes and smoking as all harmful, man. All right, it says in an article published by Inquisitor.com, Terry Lapointe, all right, noted that Searle, the manufacturer of aspartame, all right, began developing a drug to combat memory loss shortly after the FDA approved aspartame, all right, for used in carbonated drinks. Yeah, they create the problem, all right, and they create the solution, man. All right, order add chaos, man. All right, problem, action, solution. All right, it says aspartame is a neurotoxin. All right, even ants have sense enough to avoid it. All right, she explained. Yet diet drinks add this neurotoxin chemical as its sweetener, and they promote it as a heath food or health food, all right, to a public that naively puts its trust in the experts. Yeah, all right. Then the manufacturers stand ready to offer you drugs to help you with your symptoms that they don't tell you are directly related to your diet sodas. It's a win-win situation for them, with the consumers and as the loser, all right? It says you don't lose weight, you lose health, all right? Some physicians have even linked aspartame to rising rates of amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, all right? Commonly known as Lou Gehrig's disease, all right? A study of U.S. troops deployed in the Persian Gulf during the first Gulf War found that they had twice the risk of developing ALS, all right, as compared to military personnel who were not deployed, all right? Dr. Betty Martini points out that these troops were consuming lots of diet soda, which in conjunction with other environmental stressors may be connected to the disease. In the Persian Gulf, at that time, the troops were consuming lots of diet pop, cooking in the 120-degree Arabian sun, all right, for as long as 8 weeks at a time. According to the vets I personally interviewed in Huntsman, out of Alabama, all right, reported Dr. Martini, all right, a member of Mission Possible World Health International, all right. Aspartame has generated such bad press that one large manufacturer has distanced itself from the chemical. All right, the Japanese Food and Additive Corporation, Ajinomoto, all right, Kubushiki, all right, Kashai, all right, or Keisha, all right, or simply Ajinomoto, all right, Company Inc., was originally a primary maker of MSG. Okay, all right. Today, it is the world's largest producer of aspartame, all right, or aspartame, all right, with a 40% global market share, all right. In 2009, Ajinomoto began using the name amino sweetener to avoid the controversy of the name aspartame, all right. You see how these companies get down, man? It's not about the people, man. Right? They don't give a fuck about the people, all right? The elites have an agenda, man, all right, to depopulate the masses, man. Population control by Jim Mars, man. All right, so Lord willing, this lesson was edifying, man. All right, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Ratazad, this lesson was edifying. All right, Call Halayam Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rakah Quitash. All right, so all right, man. On to the next one. Shalom, shalom.